They always do something right when I'm starting the live, and these two cars just drove by right when I pressed live, or like right when I was setting up the live. And then it takes like 10 seconds for, like, it'll say live, but it'll be recording for 10 seconds, like 9 seconds or whatever. And then it'll go live. Like, then that's when the video will actually start. Like, the start of the video will be there. So they'll do something like right when I'm starting to like set up the live stream, like before I hit live. So like I can't catch it on camera. They always do something like right as I'm starting a video. And then now there's no gang stalkers right now, but they'll be back in a second. But a minute ago though, I just turned this corner and I heard this dog barking synchronized down the street that is like on the other side of these buildings. Like the dog can't possibly see me coming or hear me even probably from that distance, but this dog starts barking right as I turn a corner on the street. And like, what are they doing? Are they shocking these dogs to make them bark or something? How is there all, like, this is always happening? I hear this dog barking again now as I'm talking about it. I wasn't hearing it barking, and then he starts barking again right after I start talking about it. But I've also seen dogs, you know, like, and I've seen cats, obviously, and I've seen other animals, and I've seen dogs just by themselves, gang stalking, synchronizing, like a human gang stalker synchronizer. And I've seen dogs take a piss synchronized. And I've seen people walking dogs, and the dog will walk up and take a piss right next to me as I walk by. And the dogs are always barking synchronized. I don't know how it works, but it just does. And this car is coming up, and it's like right after, like, it's like, it seems like he's synchronizing with me, because I just was about to stand up, you know, and then this other car is coming over here right as he drives by me over here, and they're both black cars. Oh, and then another car is coming. Oh, it's coming behind me. He was driving right behind me right now. I didn't catch it, but he's driving behind me right here in the alley. I thought he was coming up the street. Like he must have been parked over here or something. Fucking weirdos. And then I was sleeping today, and every time I wake up, they make sound effects outside my apartment, like some creeps. Their truck sounds and all their sound effects. And their siren sounds. And the fire truck siren and the fire truck horn. There's no truck sounds right now, though. It's just completely quiet right now. Just wait. It's probably about to get louder in a second. Dang, no gang stalkers over here. Except maybe this car down the street. That might be a gang stalker coming up to gang stalk. I don't know yet. I'll go this way. See if it drives by me at a synchronized place. I was coming up to the intersection right now. There's a car over there. One of them's a gang stalker, I bet. Oh, the light just turned behind me right at the corner of 411. He's pulling up to that light right at that thing. And this black car, and I think the car that drove in front of me was a black car. And there's a motorcycle behind me. There's an engine behind me right as he starts driving in front of me. Somewhere behind me. It just was right at the exact same moment. So it's probably some gang stalkers. This engine in the distance is probably a gang stalker. I think it's a semi or something, but it's probably a gang stalker. Oh, I'm headed over here now. And there's more gang stalkers before I was recording. They're just hiding for the moment, and then they'll be back in a minute. I bet there will be more gang stalkers before the end of the video. They're gonna come out and do some blatant things, and then they're gonna hide it again. Or whatever. Like, this would be nothing like this And then there was be a guy with a red shirt meeting me right at the intersection, and a siren going off at the same time. And just something like that will happen. And I'm sure there's gonna be a couple cops before the end of the video. And this car driving up right now is a gang stalker. Right as I walk up to the street, there's a car driving by me. And it's a gang stalking me. And he's gonna turn in front of me right when I get across the street. He started turning right at the curb. Like he literally turned the wheel right at the curb. Right when my foot went over the curb. And then he's gonna start driving over there right when I walk up to the train tracks. He just pulled up to the intersection at the stop sign, and then he started driving right when I walk up to the train tracks. See? And then it's just nothing again. And then there's gonna be something at this intersection. Most likely. Like this car has come up the street is probably it. This is so predictable. It's on at a certain point. It's like, yeah, I knew there was gonna be a car right here. Just like every single night. Oh, it's a white SUV too. What a shocker. And it's right at the corner of the building. Right when I'm walking up to the intersection. And then there's a car driving out right when I step on the street. And he's gonna meet me right at the crosswalk at the other side of the street. Wow, he's meeting me right at the crosswalk at the other side of the street. How did I know he's gonna meet me right at the crosswalk at the other side of the street? It's like I'm a psychic or something. I was like, he's gonna meet me right at the crosswalk at the other side of the street. And then he met me right at the crosswalk at the other side of the street. How did I know? There's a car coming up behind me. Is it a gang stalker? Can't even tie my shoe without getting gang stalked. Well, that's a white truck. I bet that was 2 gang stalkers. I bet all the money that I have. Who wants to bet me? This bug is flying right up at me. There's a fly in my apartment that keeps flying in my face synchronized too. He's just a bully gang stalker fly. He keeps buzzing in my face. So in the morning when I wake up, it's just sound effects outside and a fly buzzing over my head, synchronized. It's insane. And then I walk in the kitchen and my refrigerator gang stalks me. Just like this. I think this freezer is turned on or something over here turned on. It was right at the corner of the building. That had to be a gang stalker thing. Just like my refrigerator turns on synchronized when I walk into the kitchen. And then these semi-truck sounds, I think, are synchronizer sounds. And this car is driving out over here as I'm crossing the street. He's driving out as I get across the street. That's the moment that he turns out onto the street. It's just no cars on the street. Okay. Just for the people that say that it's just cars on the street. Okay, then why is it no cars on the street? Like this. No cars on the street. 0 cars on the street. And then I cross the street, and then there's a car on the street. And then there's 0 cars on the street. And then I cross the street, and then there's a car on the street. Why is there 0 cars on the street, and then I cross the street, and then there's a car on the street when I cross it? If it's just cars on the street randomly, why are they not randomly on the street when I cross the street? That's not random. How is that random if it's every time I cross the street, there's a car on the street, but then there's no cars on the street when I'm not crossing a street? How is that random? Like, watch, I'm gonna cross this street and then there's gonna be a car on the street randomly. Just randomly, you know? There was just a car driving out way down there when I started walking. That was probably a stockhead. And then that's probably a stockhead. That other car, I don't know if you can see it driving by at the light way over there. And the light just turned red right when I walked in front of the door of the Freemason building. And then that semi is probably a gang stalker. I mean, just by the timing of all the cars down there, I think they're all gang stalking me. They always have cars down there gang stalking me. And the light turned green right when I walked up to the street. And it was probably gang stalking me. And then it turns red right now when I get across the street. What the fuck? That was a really short green light. that other car down the street, like, just turned out onto the street right before that one drove by me. I don't know. I don't know. It's turning. It turned its turn signal on right when I got to the street. And then he turns right when I get across the street. I hear this truck start beeping right when I take a drink. My drink, right when I go like this. I hear this truck going beep, beep, beep. Like they'll just sync things up with me taking a drink or with me like pushing my glasses up or tying my shoe. Or just whatever, anything. Like I got up today, I like was like putting on my pants. The semi is driving out right when I get to the street, right when I'm crossing the street, I mean. There's another one right when I get across the street. There's one at the center of the street and one right when I get across the street. But like I got up and I started to put on my pants and I hear this truck outside like revving up. And then right when I put my pants all the way on, it takes off. Like they're just always syncing up sound effects outside like that. Or like I'll unplug my phone from the wall and the truck will rev up and then I'll put my shoes on and it'll take off really loud and just take off on the street and drive off and then just like keep driving, like making sounds in distance or whatever. Or just whatever type of sound effects. That's probably a stockhead. I don't know if he was driving by me synchronized, but I think he was turning behind me synchronized. And sometimes they won't drive by me synchronized, but then they'll turn synchronized or park synchronized. These two cars just drove up at the same time over there. I think they were synchronizing, and then they were synchronizing with this car turning out. Are they synchronizing? I don't know. Oh, it was the sheriff. I bet he's synchronizing. This car door just closed right now, right when the light turned green, where the sheriff is at. I think it was that car that was just sitting in the parking lot with his taillights on. And the other car was driving by it that looked like it was synchronizing. So, like, it didn't do anything right next to me, but the other car was driving by it, you know. And then it closes the door right when the sheriff starts driving through the intersection. And then I looked like two sinker heads. And then it's another sinker head. That's a red and a blue sinker head. And then is there gonna be a sinker head right here too? Is this a sinker head? It's a white truck. That's right at the center of the street. Got the drone up there, I think. See, this is like this is why I like walking late at night, though. It's beautiful out here. There's not a lot of gang stalkers, just when I walk up the intersections. So nice. Except they make sound effects in the distance constantly. The truck sounds and the truck beeping sounds. I just keep hearing these truck beeping sounds in the distance. I think they're synchronizers. They usually are. Unfortunately, every time I hear it, it's a synchronizer pretty much. And then it makes it so, like, the other times when I hear it, I don't know if it is or not. Like, most of the time when I hear a car horn, it is a synchronizer. So, every time I hear a car horn now, it's like, damn, is someone synchronizing on me again? But it's just a guy honking a car horn like a regular person. But every other time I hear a car horn, it is a synchronizer, so I just immediately assume it's another synchronizer. Because every time I hear a car horn, it actually is a synchronizer. No joke. No delusions. It actually is. And I know because it'll be synchronizing with the other synchronizers, perfectly synchronized. I think a car just honked right when I took a drink. Like somewhere really far in the distance. This car just turned right at the center of the street. But yeah, I just heard a car honk right after I was talking about the cars honking. Right when I took a drink. Pretty sure that was a synchronizer honker. And this is the synchronizer, I think. It was right at that corner. I think it was a synchronizer. This car coming up the street, I bet is a synchronizer. If that wasn't, because it's got the extremely bright lights on it, and it's probably a cop car or a white car or some other type of synchronizer mobile. This is right at the door of this building. I don't know. This is a silver car. If I see 100 more silver cars by the end of the video, then it was probably a silver gang stalker. Some nights I'll just see all silver cars, or like 90% silver cars. Or just a bunch of black cars. That's a silver car. I think the other car was a silver car too. There was 3 silver cars. Is there gonna be another silver car? Here comes a car and it's got a dim headlight. It's driving up to the intersection right when I get across the street. Is it silver? Oh, it's red. Well, once again, there's no more cars on the street. Just like before, I walked up to that intersection where there was a car meeting me right there. And now there's no more cars anywhere again. It's funny how that works. It's just no cars, and then I cross the street, and then there's a car, and then there's no cars again. It's like I'm being stalked or something. Something like that. I don't know. Just hear this person talking over here right as I'm walking up here. Didn't hear it before. And she just starts walking this way right now, right when I get across the street. Like, it was just quiet over here as I was walking up here. And then she started talking as I was walking up to the street. And then she starts talking again right when I get across the street, and also starts walking right at that moment toward me. And then she started talking again right at the corner. And then she's gonna start talking again right here, probably. There's a car over there. I don't know if that was a stockhead. It was after I got across the street. Might have been a late stockhead or something. I don't know, sometimes they just do weird things. Like, they just switch it up and do different things sometimes. And then they go back to the same old things and all the white cars and the same things. And then they go back to different things and do different things. And then they just land a blimp right in front of you on the street, do something wild. I've never seen a blimp land in front of me on the street, but that's about the only thing I haven't seen yet. There's nothing at that street. That's cool. My shoe keeps coming untied. Whatever, I'll sit here for a minute, see what happens. Just hearing cars all of a sudden after I sit down, like in the distance. It's quiet, and I just hear the wheels rolling around when I sit down. And you hear that? That was right after I flipped the camera around. That was probably a synchronizer. Oh, there's a car behind me. Is it a synchronizer? Silver car coming up. Is he gonna synchronize on me? Don't synchronize on me, bro. Don't synchronize on me, bro. Please. I don't know. I don't think he was the synchronizer. But why is anybody a synchronizer, though? Furthermore, why is most people a synchronizer, though? Not even why is anybody a synchronizer. Why is it most people is a synchronizer? That's really stupid. To be a synchronizer? That's stupid. Well, I'm gonna start walking again, and then there's gonna be synchronizers. Because whenever I start walking, the synchronizers just gotta come out. As is apparent on all my videos when I walk around, especially late at night, if I walk around, there won't be like this guy over here. This guy walking over here, he's just standing over at the vending machine. And then, like, he walked away from it when that silver car drove by. And then, like, he's walking away out of the parking lot right now. There's a truck engine behind me right now. But yeah, if I'm walking around late at night, like if I sit on a bench late at night, they might not do anything. Like the whole time I'm sitting down. Like I'll just sit there for like half hour. They might not do anything for that entire half hour, like two things. You know, like they might do a couple of things here and there. But like if I start walking though, there's gonna be gang stalkers at every intersection pretty much. You know, like every other one. This car was driving by right here. And it's a white SUV. There's a car right now turning right when I walk up to the street. There's also a truck going beep, beep, beep. Right when I walk up to the street. Gang stalker. Gang stalker. That's a gang stalker. Duh. There's no cars on the street, and then it's turning right when I walk up to the street. It's a gang stalker. Duh. There's 0 cars on the street again after that car drove by. And there was 0 cars before it drove by. And it drove up and turned right when I walked up to the street. It's a gang stalker. Duh. There's 0 cars on the street. Oh, there's a truck driving out over there now when I'm getting across the street. There's a truck sound. If I wasn't outside right now, there'd just be 0 cars on the street. Except cars driving by my apartment outside making sound effects. This car is driving by me right here. Is it a gang stalker? I think it's a gang stalker. He's hitting his brakes right here. And then a gang stalker at this intersection. Is there gonna be a gang stalker at this intersection? I'm just hearing truck sounds over there. I think it's a gang stalker truck sounds. I think this guy just walked out the door of this building down here synchronized. I don't know. I don't know who's a gang stalker right now. I know I'm not a gang stalker. So I'm not a gang stalker, so that's good. There's 1 person out here who's not a gang stalker at least. All these other people, I don't know. But I know some of them definitely are gang stalkers. There's 1 person out here who's not a gang stalker at least. All these other people, I don't know. But I know some of them definitely are gang stalkers. Like that car that pulled up to the intersection right when I got there. And this car driving out right now is a gang stalker right now. The corner of the building. There's a loud truck going off right now at the corner of the building when I'm walking up to the intersection. You just never know, a car just might drive by all of a sudden at one of those intersections. I might not catch it if I don't turn the camera fast enough. Or someone just might ride out on a bike all of a sudden or something. And right now it's just completely quiet. And there's no gang stalkers inside anywhere. And I don't hear any sound effects or anything. It's just completely quiet. But then they just leave me in suspense. It's like a horror movie out here. Jason's around the corner somewhere, but I don't know where he's at. He's gonna walk out in a red shirt. At some moment, synchronized. I don't know when. It might be this corner. It might be this corner. It might be this corner. It might be that corner. It might be the intersection. It might be this corner. I don't know. But it's gonna happen soon. At some point. Watch. Need some suspense music or something. It's too quiet out here. I'm starting to worry about the gang stalkers. Are the gang stalkers feeling okay? I think I wore them out. Finally. Let's make sure if I go over the bridge, are they gonna gang stalk me like they always have to? That way I'll know if they're done gang stalking me for the night. Here comes a gang stalker driving out behind me right at this corner. I bet that's a gang stalk bot. But yeah, if I walk over this bridge, I don't know if they're done gang stalking me or not, because they just have to gang stalk me at bridges every time I walk over a bridge. So if I walk over the bridge and they don't gang stalk me, then I guess I'm out of the program finally. Please God, let me not get gang stalked at the bridge and be out of the program finally. Please God. I think I just heard someone doing some weird yelling synchronizer noises. They'll just yell in the distance or scream. They just make all these weird, creepy sound effects in the distance. They're just a bunch of creeps. Like last night, they're just outside my apartment going, woo! In the parking lot, synchronized with what I was doing inside of my apartment. Every time I would do something, there'd be someone out in the parking lot, and they're just like, woo! I'm hearing a truck engine right when I get across the bridge. Oh, there he is. He's driving out now. He's gonna drive by me at the edge of the river. And then, like, he's driving through that intersection. When I get to the end of the bridge, it's probably a sink. And then this car is driving out now. Yeah, I knew another car was gonna come up. I thought I was gonna meet him at the intersection. His motorcycle sound is probably a gang stalker. Probably, I don't know. It's like usually when I hear it, it's a gang stalker. So maybe not, but probably. Cause that's just my life. 99% of the time when I hear a truck or motorcycle engine, it is a gang stalker. Most of the time. It really is. Because it's going off right when I step on a street or something like that. So, I know that most of the time it is. So, whenever I hear it, whenever I hear an engine or a car horn or a siren or a car alarm or a plane or anything, I'm like, is this another gang stalker? Even if it's not, that is kind of sick, if you ask me, how they do that to people's brains. Because every time I hear a car horn now, I'm like, it's a gang stalker. Here we go again. And every time I walk up to an intersection, I'm like, here comes a gang stalker. Here we go again. But then there might not be a gang stalker at this intersection. But they just got me anticipating another gang stalker coming. Even if it doesn't happen. But it's gonna happen right after that if it doesn't happen. Because it's always happening. And then people say it's not happening, but it just keeps happening, and it's always happening. And then people say it's not happening, and they say that they're not doing it, when they're always doing it, and they do it right after they say they're not doing it. And then it just keeps happening. And then it's gonna happen over here. Like, it didn't happen at that intersection. I think I heard some truck sounds, maybe. But it's gonna happen over here, though. Watch. I bet it's gonna happen at this intersection. There's gonna be a cop right at this intersection or something. This car is pulling up right at the corner of the building across the street right now. And then it's driving by right here. And this car is turning around and it drives up over there, and they're both black cars. Well, that happened, and it's gonna keep happening and keep happening. And then people are gonna keep saying it's not happening, but it just keeps happening. And they're the ones doing it, and then they say they're not doing it, but then they do it right after they say they're not doing it, and then it just keeps happening. And they just keep doing it and getting away with it. Because they just pretend like they're not doing it, and they're just doing regular things, but they're doing regular things while doing it. But then they just say that they're not doing it, and they just get away with doing it, and just keep doing it. I think this is a cop car. Maybe not a cop car. It's probably an undercover cop car. Is it? It's got a 33 license plate. It's got a 33 license plate and it's driving by right here. You know, they either drive by right here or right here. Every time I walk by here, pretty much, they're driving by right here. And yeah, 33 license plate. There's just a car driving out in front of me right now, way down the street. Right when I walk up to the street, there's a car driving out at the center line of the street. I think it's at the same intersection the other car was going and going the same direction. And they're probably both the same color, even though I can't really see them all the way over here. It's probably two black cars or something. You know, this light is just always timed with me somehow. These stoplights, they're just always turning red and green, synchronized with me walking up to intersections. I'm walking by crosswalks as I walk up the intersection and shit like that. And then the boop 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 thing, that thing, that sound effect will turn on synchronized. Like, swear to God, and I think this car just turned out right when I stepped on the street over there. I think this car just turned out over there. And this car just turned over there right when I got across the street. Turned in front of me. I don't know. One of them's gotta be a gang stalker. This car is driving behind me right now. Probably a gang stalker. Like I said, I think he turned out on the street when I stepped onto it. He's driving behind me right here where they gang stalk me. And there's someone on a bike coming. Is he gonna gang stalk me? When's he gonna ride behind me? At the corner of the building. At the corner of that building right there. Where they gang stalk me all the time. This corner right here. Of the building. Where they always gang stalk me. And that guy that on the bike, I always see him gang stalking me. I think he's homeless or something, but I always see him gang stalking me though. Here's the police station over here. I haven't seen a cop on this video yet. That's kind of rare. When I walk around late at night, I usually see a lot of cops. Some nights more than others. Some nights it's like all the cops. Like every cop in the police station is out gang stalking me. But I usually see them at night more than I see them during the daytime. There's someone pulling into the police station in a black truck right now. That's probably one of the black gang stalker trucks that was driving around synchronizing with the other black gang stalkers. Probably a cop that drives a black gang stalk truck and then he gets in his cop car and gang stalks. See if something happens with the black truck. He's just sitting there with his bright light on. Got his high beams turned on over there. There's a car pulling up. Is the light gonna turn off right when the car pulls up? Alright. I don't know if that was a regular car. It didn't synchronize with anything. You can't really tell how bright this light actually is. He's just got his high beams on over there on his black truck. Why is everybody's headlights so bright all the time around me? Does everybody else get bright headlights following them around all the time at night? Anybody other than TIs, I mean? The connection just paused right when that car pulled up, and then it paused again right when I said the connection just paused right when this car pulled up. It just paused twice, synchronized. There's a helicopter. Is that a gang stalker? I think it was flying over here right when that car drove by. That might be, I think that's the hospital helicopter, but it might be a gang stalker too, though. Alright. I don't know what the guy's doing over there in that truck with his lights turned on. Let's just walk up to this intersection and see what happens, though. And if nothing happens, then I'll turn the camera off anyway. And then right after I turn the camera off, there'll be a gang stalker popping out if nothing happens. Or if not there, then they'll be meeting me right when I get back to my apartment or something. Guaranteed I'm gonna see at least one more gang stalker before I get home. There's someone walking out. Is it a gang stalker? Who's not a gang stalker? Nah. Is there any other gang stalkers over here? No gang stalkers at this side of the street? Dang, y'all ran out of gang stalkers? Is that a gang stalker? I don't know if that was a gang stalker. What if I cross the street one more time? Is there gonna be a gang stalker? I just know there's a gang stalker around here somewhere. There's always a gang stalker around the corner somewhere. Fucking ridiculous. This is gang stalking me. Boop boop, boop boop. And then this street light was probably gang stalking me too, but I wasn't looking at it. Just a bunch of gang stalkers out here except me.